So I just finished watching Arcane, which, in case you don't know, is a series based from the online game League of Legends, and I really love it. I think there was a lot of things I wanted to do from it. For example, there was a trap sphere on the first chapter. There was also this Scarab thing. Yeah, I look into that one too. Also, there was this crazy monkey bomb. But after I saw Jinx Flame Chomper, I knew that was the one I wanted to make. By the way, there are a lot of designs about this on the internet. However, since I want this thing to work, I need to design everything from scratch. Oh, by the way, this is my video. So if you didn't know, I upload a preview of the next build a couple of days before I release it. So if you want to know which is the next build, I suggest you hit the subscribe button. Anyway, after that, I make a couple of drawings and then I move to the electronics. For the motion of the mouth, the biting motion, I'm going to be using this servo motor and also a Arduino Nano. And it's going to have 3 speeds because in the series, when you activate it, it kind of moves a little bit slower at the beginning and then goes faster. So, here. This is the first speed. This is the second speed. And the third speed. For the eyes, I will be using, no, I'm not going to be using these eyes, I'm going to be using this. These addressable LEDs are so much better and so much cooler. And the reason is simple, because usually when the device is on, the eyes are supposed to be green, and then when the device is activated, they're supposed to blink purple. So I can only do this with addressable LEDs. I just finished programming, and the electronics are already tested. Here are a couple of notes about the rest of the design. And everything is going to be running with a 9-volt battery. And when I release this button here, everything is going to start. And by that I mean the countdown and also the motor moving. We'll see. See, okay, that's enough. You have to wait until the end. Also, a fact of this Arduino Uno is that it is not really good at multitasking. That is the reason the lights and the motor have to be managed with millis in the program instead of delays. So yeah, Google It is so much better for doing a couple of things parallel to each other. I know this is a mess, but this is before soldering. After soldering, still a mess. And there is a reason for that. There's this scene in the Arcane series where they open one of these Flame Chompers, and you can see there's a lot of cables everywhere, and I want this to look similar to that. Also, I don't really trust this connector very much. It looks fragile. It seems like if I pull too strong, it's going to rip. That is why I will use wire connectors to these cables. Since I cannot let these two guys be damaged, I will use these tips right here to make them stronger. You can see, this can be creamed. There, so much better. Of course, I also want to mimic those chemical bottles. So in order to do that, these pigments, and yes, I know, this yellow, it's not even McDonald's has this kind of yellow. But yeah, I'm going to need this strong orange here and also this green one. I am also going to use these syringes. I'm going to put a little bit of water in the colorant and those should look really good. By the way, in order to remove these numbers, if you're ever going to use something similar, just put a little bit of isopropylic alcohol in a bit of cotton and you can see it comes right off. So I designed and 3D printed these parts where all these electronics are going to live in. Also, this is the cover. I tried to make it as close as the one in the series. Looks like damaged metal, which is the point. Also, I made the base for all the bolts. This is the vein of the Flame Chomper. Also, I made all the bolts and I will try to check if everything fits in. Then I'm going to sand and paint these two. This one, I'm just going to sand. And we'll see how it turns out. This test is to review if the mod is working properly. You can see we have a couple of cylinders to keep the jaws in place and also the servo motor from the beginning. Everything's working great, so let's move to the sanding and painting. All the parts have already the metal base coat. I think they look great. Especially this one. Looks very shiny. I think it looks great. Shinier than the other ones for some reason. The next step is to use this. An airbrush, and along with these metallic paints I got from AliExpress. They're really cheap, but they should do the work. Painting is done, and I also added contact points between the cap of the inside capsule and the cap of the Flame Chomper. So the LEDs and the motor can be connected to the battery through these contact points, and that will be done with copper tape. Two more things. First, there is a mechanism inside here, which is basically this one, and this is the safety pin, which I already sanded so it won't scratch the plastic. A bit of copper tape will be placed in this part, so when the safety pin is pulled, it will create contact between the battery and the rest of the circuit, and this window will open, releasing the safety lever. Second, I made this place for the button. So when the safety lever is released, the button will also be released and the countdown will start. Everything is ready for the final assembly. We have all the components, and also if you are enjoying the video, please like it, it really helps the channel. And after everything is in one piece, I'm going to add some neon paint because the theme of the series is for it to glow in the dark. Finally, here is Jinx Flame Chomper. I think it looks great. It took some time, but there were many issues that came up and needed solving. But yeah, I think it was worth the wait. And no, this video is not sponsored because I have only 2 beautiful subscribers. Come on guys, we can do better than that. But thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoy it as much as I enjoy making it. And yeah, see you guys in the next one.